Good morning, everybody. I'm here with Nick Daniels from NACA. That's the union that the air traffic controllers belong to, as well as Frank McIntosh from the FAA, the ATO organization that manages this portion of the FAA that deals with air traffic controllers. So listen, I had a chance to go speak to some of the controllers here at Newark. We had some donuts, brought some coffee, brought them some pizza, but I wanted to talk to them about what impact this shutdown has on their lives, on their ability to do their jobs. And so these air traffic controllers, they're critical infrastructure. They're critical to the operation of the federal government. So they're required to show up for work. And when they come to work, I want them to think about the departures and arrivals of airplanes. I want to make sure they keep Americans safe and airplanes safe. But what the consistent message was from these controllers was they're not just now thinking about the airspace and the jobs they have to do in these towers or TRACONs or centers across the country. They're thinking about, am I going to get a paycheck? And their paychecks should come a week from tomorrow. And so now what they think about as they're controlling our airspace is, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How do I make my car payment? I have a couple kids at home. How do I put food on the table? I'm working 6 days a week. Do I have to take a second job and drive Uber when I'm already exhausted from doing a job that's already stressful to think about how I can make extra money because the government may not provide me a paycheck? So in a job that's already stressful, this shutdown has put way more stress on our controllers at a time when they're already working on equipment from the 1960s, 1980s, 1990s. We asked them to do their jobs on equipment that has not been state-of-the-art. We asked them to do their jobs on old equipment and keep our airports operational at a time when they don't have the best equipment at their disposal. And so I wanted to hear them out. I wanted to hear their concerns and make sure that that those who shut the government down, I want to make sure that Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries know that this is not consequence-free. There are issues that arise throughout America that impact our everyday lives, that can impact our safety when you shut the government down. And again, up in the tower, these are great American patriots. They're American citizens who are serving the American people. And I think it begs the question, why? Why would Chuck Schumer want to shut the government down and focus on people who are not American citizens and their health care, and issues that are going to evolve over the next weeks and months that he wants to shut the government down today? And again, I want to be clear. Do I think they're more stressed right now in our towers? Yes. Is our airspace unsafe? No. Right? If we think there's issues in the airspace, we will shut it down. We will close it down. We will delay. But again, it's creating a ripple effect for our controllers. Not only that, many of you know what essential air service is. So essential air service provides airline services to communities that normally would not get it. Right? So we give some subsidies to the federal government that in smaller communities to give them service from the airlines. That money runs out this Sunday. So there's many small communities across the country that will now no longer have the resources to make sure they have air service in their community. The number one user of this airspace is Alaska. Again, you don't have roads in Alaska. They travel by air, and a lot of these are small communities. Alaska will be impacted, but every state across the country will be impacted by the inability to provide the subsidies to airlines to service these communities. Long-standing program, bipartisan support in the House and the Senate. It's an important program, but we don't have the money for that moving forward. One last point. Many of you have heard me talk about surging air traffic controllers, making sure we get more controllers through our academy in Oklahoma City. And then when they get out of the academy, they have to be trained up. And we have a lot of training facilities across the country, but the support staff that train those controllers when they're through the academy are at risk of being laid off. And so what this can do is we're trying to bring more air traffic controllers into the system so we have less delays, less cancellations. it's more challenging to get those students through the academy, but then also trained up in facilities like right here in Newark. So these can have longer lasting impacts at a time when we're trying to supercharge. This shutdown makes it more challenging for us to actually do our jobs. And again, this doesn't just end after the Democrats decide to open up the government. It has a longer lasting impact on our ability to make up the ground in the shortages that we have right now with air traffic controllers. So this is having great impact, great concern, great stress on our system at a time when we're trying to reduce the stress. We're trying to improve the efficiencies. We're trying to increase controllers. We're trying to modernize our airspace. All things that the American people care about. And this shutdown, again, that Chuck Schumer wants to have because he wants to fund illegals' health care, makes no sense to me. I think he cares more about, and should care more about, what happens right here in the New York airspace and across the country as we want to make sure we have air travel safe and controllers focused not on their mortgages, not on their next paycheck, not on food on the table, but actually on making sure you and your family are safe. And so with that, again, I'm delighted to have the president of the Air Traffic Controllers Union, NATCA, Nick Daniels, here with me. He's going to say a few words, then we'll go to Frank McIntosh from the FAA to say a few words, and then we're happy to take any questions from all of you. Nick?
So good afternoon.